I'm gonna just start this by saying our bad,
Wait, for what?
because we ain't been here for a minute.
I've been busy with stuff.
Well,
You've been busy with stuff. We got lives.
I mean, if we could podcast full time, that'd be cool.
Wait, people do that?
Some people do. Joe Rogan does.
Ooh.
I mean, he used to have a TV show where he'd have people like eating goat dicks and stuff, but
Ew.
you don't remember Fear Factor?
Oh, that was him?
Yeah, that was Joe Rogan.
Oh, no, I never watched it because they made people do things like eat goat dicks.
Anyway, for those of you who don't know, I am the most electrifying man in modern medievalism, Stelios of Memphis on yours, and I'm joined by the lovely Lila.
What's up, guys?
Yeah. And we're gonna do the AnTir Westward recap.
3 weeks late?
About 2 weeks late.
2.5, 3?
Yeah, something like that.
It was still this month.
It was still this month.
We're still timely billing.
That's right. So, this AnTir West War, honestly, to me, was the absolute best AnTir West War I have ever had, because there were so many positive experiences there. The Myrmidons from the North Boat and the South Boat fought side by side.
Fleet Week!
Fleet Week! And it was good to actually meet some of the Southern Boat guys, because I had never actually formally met any of them. But yeah, we went out there and we did what Myrmidons do. We're like Space Marines. We touch down on a planet, we kill everything we see, and then we leave.
Well, I remember you telling me that the fighting across the board felt really, really good this year. That there wasn't, like, any drama or conflict. There wasn't any, like, helmets being ripped off and tantrums being thrown on the sidelines. Like, everyone was just really chill and taking their shots and being really respectful and having a good time in general.
The fighting was top-notch fun, and I think one of the big things that made the fighting fun was that we had scenarios that weren't like any scenarios that we've ever done, and we have to thank Earl Edward Ian Anderson for that, because he came up with the scenarios and he ran the war, and everything started on time.
Wait, what?
Right?
So you telling me the war started on time?
The war started on time.
I have been doing SCA for well over a decade, and the war has never started on time.
It started on time this time.
What is this? Is this reality?
Yeah, it's what happens when you put Earl Edward in charge, I guess.
Damn, man.
But yes, the war started on time. Everybody was happy. Everybody was positive. Nobody got, seriously injured.
Oh, thank goodness.
Some people get hurt every now and then, but there's a difference between being hurt and being injured, and nobody was injured, thankfully.
There's a difference between going to the med kit after you get back to camp versus someone having to call an ambulance.
Yeah, and especially with how AnTir West War went last year, it was...
Last year was rough.
Yeah, last year was really rough.
There was one thing that happened last year that had a follow-up this year that I don't think got nearly enough credit. We talked about it last year, I think, where the site owner's granddaughter, younger female relative, had collected gnomes, garden gnomes, to put in the forested area around the creek on the property. And some little jerkwad teenager thought it would be funny to go around breaking them. And thankfully, some of the other kids in the group stepped forward and, talked when that came to attention that the site's gnomes had been vandalized. And who was it that headed up the initiative?
It was Lash from Black Company down there in California.
Lash, thank you so much, my dude, for putting that together.
Master Lash, because he's a master at arms now.
Heck yeah.
So, yeah, he organized that, and not only did he raise a substantial amount of cash then and there, but he also challenged everybody to provide this young lady with a gnome for the next year. So fast forward in time, this year rolls around, and apparently she got tons of gnomes.
Like, I want to hear a number. I want to see a picture of just a pavilion covered in gnomes. I know the Myrmidons submitted a gnome that had been modified to be appropriately Myrmidon dressed.
Yes.
And what did they name him? They named him Agamemnon?
Agamemnon.
He was a cool dude.
So Agamemnon is now permanently stationed at Gold Beach, Oregon.
So yeah, if anyone has any pictures of the gnome collection, please throw it in the comments. I really want to see them.
So, the next thing that happened was the cancer tournament. Now,
that went well this year.
That went extremely well this year. Not only because there was fierce fighting, but because the Black Panther got to fight Captain America.
Man, that was a great first fight.
So, get this. Me and Leotoff of the Silver Hills, we came up with the idea that since I fielded the Black Panther kit at AnTir West War last year, that he was going to bring his Captain America kit for this year, and we were going to fight in the cancer tournament. So, I walked to the field in full Black Panther regalia, because, you know, that's what I do. He comes out into the Eric, and he's got this green coat on. And suddenly he sheds this coat, and Captain America is standing in front of me, and he asks the crowd, what is it worth? What is it worth to you to see Captain America fight the Black Panther? America's favorite son versus the defender of Wakanda. They passed the hat around, and within 5 minutes, we had raised $202 additional for the cancer tournament.
Mm-hmm.
So you take that money on top of everything else that was made from fighters entering the cancer tournament, on top of, get this, Captain America winning the whole thing, won the whole cancer tournament. I mean, that's just sweet that America's favorite son would win a cancer tournament on 4th of July weekend.
I believe the term is poetic.
It is poetic.
It is poetic. And you know what's going to be even more poetic? Is AnTir West War 2020, where the Black Panther comes back with a vengeance. And he is looking for other allies to help stage this rematch against Captain America, all in the name of kicking cancer's ass.
That's right.
So if you are a fighter and you have been thinking about putting together a themed kit that might be superhero themed friendly, and you want to feature it in the cancer tourney next year, hit us up. We want to hear your ideas, and by all means, we support your creative initiative.
Now, here's the thing. We might do that at the cancer tournament. We might do this at other events. This might turn into a thing. Because I like the idea of, one, exercising creativity when it comes to creating kits, because that stuff is fun, and I feel like a lot of the SCA has forgotten how to have fun. I didn't join this organization to do homework. I got a degree already, and I'm working on number 2. And 2, I like the idea of us doing this not only for the gratification of having created such an awesome kit, but also for a good cause. That's right, Hermes, for a good cause. So it may be cancer research that we donate to. It might be other charities like, I don't know, AIDS research or
AIDS research.
I like St. Jude.
The Alzheimer's research. The what was the ice bucket challenge for a couple years ago?
ALS.
ALS. That's a good one. They made significant breakthroughs in scientific research for ALS with all the money that was raised by that ice bucket challenge.
Which is good.
It is, and that's what makes the difference. Is it might be a silly thing to do, but if it's genuinely going to make a difference, that's an important thing to do for our community.
Short version of that, Stelios and Lila support charity, and we'll hopefully be doing more charity-related things.
And we support having fun in the SCA and flexing your creativity.
That's right. But
what?
something we got to talk about.
Oh, yeah. So there's been a thing that I've been wanting to bring up, and I kept forgetting to bring it up at podcasts, but gosh, we might have mentioned it in passing, but y'all, camp manners have been seriously sliding in the SCA from what I've seen the last, like, decade or so. Like, when I first joined back in the mid-2000s, camp etiquette was, like, a hardcore must. You don't go traipsing through people's camps. You don't just walk in unless you're on walking in camp terms with them. You hail the encampment. You get permission to come in, because you're essentially going into someone's home for the weekend. You
Right.
wouldn't just walk down the street and bust up in your neighbor's house and be like, "What up? Just walking through on my way to the park," and then waltz through their back door and hop over their fence. Like, you wouldn't do that. You get the cops called on you, first of all. So it's not that urgent, like, property-wise, but it's still, like, these are where people are, like, this is their home for the weekend. Please, people, be aware. Especially, like, I understand it's a little shaky on setup day where people are still arriving and there's gaps in camp circles, but be aware of your neighbors and be aware of where the paths really are. And if you find yourself accidentally traipsing through someone's camp, apologize and go around for the rest of the weekend. Like, just because you can see the biff from where you are doesn't mean you can go walking straight through someone's camp to get there.
I mean, I understand there might be a situation where the brown viper's about to bite you. And, I mean, you can explain yourself while you're on the way.
Well,
but, I mean, take that extra moment to, like, run around people's camps. Because,
yeah.
you know, some people have children in their camps. And I don't know about y'all, but if I was a parent, I would not want some random person walking through camp when my kids are running around.
Like, we're sure you don't have any bad intentions, but when you're a rando walking through someone's camp and they don't know why you're there or what you intend to do, they might get defensive, they might get concerned, you know? So, don't be that rando. Be respectful of camp boundaries. Be aware. Please. Dear God.
So do you have anything else?
Gosh, I don't know, like, AnTir Westward this year was super chill for me. I spent most of my time hanging out in camp with the other Myrmidons, and I, like, wandered around a bit. Like, I was like the cat that would finally crawl out from where she was napping in the back of the closet, walk into the middle of the living room and go, "Well, here I am." And bored now, bye, and then just wander back away. Like, I wish that I had done more rounds for, like, going to people's camps to say hey to people that I haven't seen in a while. I don't know if there was any parties we could have gone and buzzed through. You know, just mostly I wish I'd been able to see more people, but it was just, it was a really relaxing weekend for me, and I only got a little bit of heat exhaustion on pack-up day.
Yeah. So, I got nothing else. But, again, we're sorry for this taking so long. We've just been super busy.
A little bit sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry.
He's more sorry than I am.
Yeah. But we love you, and we care about you, and we hope that you continue to watch and like and share and all that good stuff. And if you haven't done so already, then you need to smash that like button. You need to smash that subscribe button. You need to throw it over to your homie and say, "Hey, like that, smash that, and watch these folks."
If you've got a cool story or an awesome experience that happened to you at AnTir Westward this year, feel free to throw that in the comments and share. If you've got any questions or concerns for us, you can put it in the comments, or you can send us a private direct message if you want to keep the conversation private. If you've got any suggestions of other things that you think we should talk about or issues you think need to be brought up, bring it to our attention. We want to hear from you.
Until next time, take care of yourselves and each other.